faced with a divergence between themselves and others, individuals have a variety of ways of dealing with it. For example, they may choose to engage in open conflict, to argue, to beat each other up, or to wage war. They may seek to deny the problems and avoid any discussion on the subject. They can also turn to a third party who can either accompany them in their discussions, like when a mediator is called in, or decide for them what to do about the divergence, like when a judge or an arbitrator is called in. But before talking about mediation or arbitration, let us first try to understand how people manage their own conflicts when they do not get a third party involved. Many authors have tried to highlight the different styles of conflict management. The most famous model is the one proposed by Kenneth Thomas and Ralph Killman, a model that was inspired by the previous work of Blake and Motton. Thomas and Killman highlight 5 possible styles of conflict management: imposition, accommodation, collaboration, avoidance, and compromise. These 5 styles are organized around 2 main axes. The first axis is based on people's assertiveness, that is, their ability to express themselves and defend their rights. The second axis deals with people's cooperativeness, or the importance that they give to the relationships they have with others. Conflict management styles therefore depend on both the assertiveness of individuals and their orientation towards others. For example, people who are very assertive and have little concern for others will always try to impose their point of view on others in conflicts. Conversely, people who are very cooperative and not very assertive will systematically accommodate to the opinion of others. These are people who tend to neglect their own interests to meet the needs of those around them. When a person is both assertive and cooperative, he or she will implement collaboration as a priority. Collaboration aims to develop solutions to conflicts that are simultaneously serve their own interest and those of the person facing them. The opposite of collaborative style is avoidance. People who constantly avoid conflict are people who are neither assertive nor very cooperative. By avoiding conflict, they are not serving their own interest nor the interest of the other party. Finally, in the middle of all this, we find compromise. An approach based on compromise is a middle approach, where the interests of the parties are only moderately satisfied. The test you just completed in the previous section is a test proposed by Schneider and Brown that builds on and improves upon Thomas Killman. Specifically, these authors wanted to distinguish preferences at the beginning of the conflict, when the disagreement has just occurred, from preferences when the conflict is more intense. According to these authors, individuals are not completely rigid in their approach to conflict, and their preferences can vary according to the intensity of the conflict. For instance, people who are very competitive, forceful, and imposing at the beginning of a conflict may sometimes tend to change to avoidance when the conflict becomes too intense. Similarly, after an attempt at a collaborative approach at the beginning of a conflict, a person may be drawn towards compromise when the conflict becomes more intense, or when he or she realizes that collaboration is not possible because of a partner who is only concerned with imposition.